Hi everyone, and welcome back to Studio 11, where I'm delighted to be sitting opposite Jaysella for this week's podcast. So, welcome Jace.
Hi Barney and Cor, what a scorcher.
Sure is, but I can see you've dressed for the occasion, or rather, not so dressed.
Got to stay cool, Barney, whatever it takes.
Yeah, get that Jace, and no complaints from where I'm sitting.
Now.
So what's the topic today?
Well, I've really only got one topic to talk about this week, and that's the Coral-Eclipse at Sandown Park on Saturday. Now, this race has plenty of history about it, named after the unbeaten 18th century stallion, Eclipse.
Been around a long time then?
Just a bit Barney, but more so that it's the classic generation's first chance to race in a Group 1 against older horses. That's the real significance of it. But you also have to remember that around 95% of thoroughbreds carry Eclipse in their male line ancestry, and that can be traced back to two of the three original stallions, Darley and Godolphin. And I just love all that historical stuff. I mean, bloodstock is just a huge industry, all of its own these days. Huge. And that's where the history of it being the first race of the season to pitch the classic lot against older horses started.
Okay, I see. Today's podcast is a history lesson.
Cheeky. No, just building you up, Barney, because this year's Coral-Eclipse is one of the best lineups I've seen for a while, and I can't wait.
Yeah, sorry, what's the lowdown, Jace?
Well, there's been a great crop of 3-year-olds we've seen this year. Field of Gold, Ruling Court, Camille Pissarro and Delacroix, though Field of Gold is not going to be in this against his stablemate Ombudsman. And as he was totally dominant in the Irish 2000 Guineas and the St James's Palace at Ascot, I've got to agree with John and Thady Gosden. He doesn't need to line up in this over 10 furlongs. Plus, I will tell you, this is a pretty short turnaround from that Royal Ascot win, so that has to be the right decision. Now, Ombudsman is a 4-year-old, and although he won at the Royal Do 2, that was only his second run of the season. So I guess he's going to be fully tuned up for this by the Gosdens, who know how to win this race. And there's a huge weight allowance for the classic generation, £10. So let's look at the 10-year trends. 7 of the last 10 winners were 3-year-olds. Just one 4-year-old winner from 25 starters in the last decade. Whereas 5-year-olds have done all right, 4 from 12 in the 10-year analysis. I mean, I'm never totally sold on trends as a rule. They've got their place, but nothing is as good as gut instinct. But, moving on, it has been announced that William Buick will keep the ride on Ombudsman, even though Ruling Court is due to line up for Charlie Appleby. I mean, he's the retained rider for Godolphin, which means it's Charlie's horses usually, but not specifically, so it's no surprise to see Ombudsman at the top of the anti-post markets after his run in the Prince of Wales' Stakes, and you've got to give it to him. He was just an also-ran at the 2-furlong pole, but somehow managed to make up about 5 places, and probably a good 4 lengths to win.
You think he'll do it again, Jace?
Well, what I think is that your Coral-Eclipse winner is one that is going to get into a good gallop over the first 3 quarters of the race. In recent memory, that puts one like Guy Ath right at the top of my list. And, for me, that racing style here on Sandown Park matters more than the trends analysis. I mean, who has got that racing style in this lineup?
Yeah, what's your thinking?
Okay, Barney, I will tell you, there is a great field here. But I will tell you, this is a cracker. Right, enough history taking on Ombudsman, who I think deserves the favouritism of French Raider, Sozy, French Derby winner, Camille Pissarro, and 2000 Guineas winner, Ruling Court. Sozy is by See the Stars, who of course won this in 2009, but for me, he's untried on ground this quick, so might find it all happening a bit too fast. Camille Pissarro can probably act on this going, but still has to prove he can. But Ruling Court will definitely be okay on this. I think he's been totally mispriced in the markets this week, so I've had an each-way tickle on him, but for the win, it's Ombudsman for me.
Okay, Jace, that's where I'm sticking my wad.
Now don't go mad, but I think an interesting angle is a tri-cast. How about Ombudsman, Ruling Court and Anmart, plus the unexposed Irish Raider, Hot as Hell, filling 3 of the first 4 places?
OK, thanks, Jace. And thanks for dropping in.
Pleasure, Barney. Enjoy the race.
Yeah, we'll do. Ciao for now.
Ciao, ciao.